mountains of southwest China are a people who don't know He is coming, who are not ready for His return. They are the Buyi people. The Buyi people live in a part of China now known as Guizhou province, an area like a sea of mountains crisscrossed by narrow river valleys. For over 2,000 years, they have farmed these valleys and made their homes and villages at the base of the steep mountain slopes. A typical Buyi village is home to several hundred people. Each household is usually made up of an extended family, with up to 4 generations living under the same roof, along with the chickens, pigs, and the cow. The Buyi have become adept at using the local resources in the construction of their homes and villages. In some areas they have built sturdy wooden homes, yet in others they have become famous for their skills as stone masons, with whole villages being built of stone. Each area also boasts its own unique dress style. Buyi women are masters of weaving, embroidery, and batik dyeing, skills that have been passed on from generation to generation and are displayed in their traditional clothes, aprons, bags, and headdress. Even the Buyi language has 3 major dialects that have developed due to their isolation from each other by the tough mountain terrain. Today, there are nearly 3 million Buyi people living in villages like these, scattered throughout southern Guizhou. These rural villages are the center of Buyi life. Emperors have come and gone. Men have made it to the moon. But most Buyi continue to live and farm in much the same way as that of their ancestors. The whole family is involved in making a living from the land. Life is hard for a Buyi family. Water buffalo are used for plowing. Planting and harvesting of crops like rice, maize, and wheat is all done by hand. Grains and vegetables are grown to feed the family, and a small income is made from cash crops such as tobacco, fruit, or bamboo. Market days are held regularly in towns across the region. Villagers travel in from the surrounding mountains on any form of transport they can find. There they buy and sell their produce and mix with people from other ethnic groups and the Han Chinese who also live in the region. Over the centuries, Guizhou gained a reputation for not having 3 days of sun in a row, 3 miles of flat land, or 3 coins to rub together. The standard of living has improved in recent years, but local people continue to tell visitors what a poor and backward place their home province is. What they haven't realized is that the greatest poverty they experience is not that of a material standard, but of a heart that doesn't know God. God, however, loves the Buyi. 2,000 years ago, God gave John a vision that the Buyi would be among the multitude of people from every nation, tribe, and language, all worshiping before the throne of God. For 2,000 years, the mountains that have been home to the Buyi have kept them isolated from the chance to hear the gospel. For 2,000 years, Jesus has watched on as generation after generation of precious Buyi people have lived and died, never knowing that He loves them. God is passionate for these people, that they would know Him, that they would worship Him, that they would spend eternity with Him. How much longer must God wait to see His vision fulfilled? Great changes are taking place in the Buyi people's world. For the first time ever, the Buyi are looking beyond the mountains to see what the world has to offer. Many men and whole families are moving to the cities to find work. Education, TV, and even pop music have reached into the remotest villages. Many young people are no longer wearing their traditional clothing and no longer singing their traditional songs. In the midst of this massive tide of transition, many Buyi people are no longer sure what they believe. Christians who have visited the Buyi in recent years have found them hungry to hear about God. The Buyi people of our generation are truly a field that is ripe unto harvest, but who will reap this harvest? We cannot assume that they will be easily reached by the revivals in other parts of China. Buyi are a distinct ethnic group with their own unique culture and language. People from outside that culture must come to communicate the gospel to them in a way they can understand, so that they can easily pass this good news unto others. Only about half of the Buyi people are literate. Evangelism will not be as easy as passing out a few tracts and Bibles. Churches must be planted that will enable the Buyi believers themselves to embrace God's vision and be equipped to take the gospel to their own people. The Buyi themselves must be raised up as laborers for this harvest field. God is calling people around the world to pray for the Buyi. He is calling people to go to the Buyi with the message of His love and deliverance. Opportunities are opening in Guizhou for people to go and live there as students, teachers, and businessmen that will enable them to serve the Lord's vision right there amongst the people He wants to reach. Short-term teams can help reach the Buyi through prayer, building relationships, distributing Christian materials, and training leaders. Those with skills in language, translation, and music can also find an exciting place to use their gifts in creating evangelism and teaching tools to extend the kingdom of God amongst the Buyi. God is calling churches to adopt the Buyi people, to make a long-term commitment to do their part to ensure that the Buyi people hear the gospel. For further information on how you can be involved in God's plan to reach the Buyi, contact your missions coordinator, the organization that distributed this video, or email us. In a generation when we can make calls across the world and have information at our fingertips, it's hard to believe that there are still people isolated from hearing the one piece of news that could really help them. You can be an important part of God's plan to reach the Buyi and to hasten the coming of the Lord.